Draw a pentagon and a rectangle. I quit. Remember these McDonald's Halloween buckets from the 90s? When I was a kid, I threw mine in the oven while it was on and it freaking melted everywhere. My mom was pissed. I was 8, my brother and I were walking with my dad to his work. He would give us food and we would walk home after. So my brother farts. My dad farts back at him. I'm walking behind them and I scream, "Check this out." So I run in front of both of them, jump up in the air. As I land, I fart and stop moving. My dad screams, "Did you crap your pants?" Which I said nothing. He mumbled to himself the rest of the walk. When we get there, he takes me to the bathroom and wets many paper towels to clean the mess. I walked home with paper towels in my underwear. When I was 8 years old, I thought it would be smart to not fill up the rubber pool we had, but this thing. I remember how everyone walked past me. They stopped for a second, looked at me and walked away again. And boy was I chilling my life. My second grade picture, my parents had saved up money for them. The tragic story of Icarus. So when I was about 3 to 4, my uncle told me to punch every man that walked in the house in the groin as a joke. It took 3 years to grow out of it. Daughter profusely denied she cut her bangs. Bonus, no need to make her breakfast burritos anymore either. My daughter and I went to the zoo for my birthday. She thought the thing behind us was a kitty because she's stupid. Let's get some Jewel, bro. Years ago at the zoo, I saw a crowd of kindergartners standing in front of monkey exhibit. A monkey in the enclosure was making these funny sounds at the kids, and the kids kept making them back at the monkey. I soon learned that those were territorial sounds, as the next thing I heard was the children screaming after getting peed on through the bars. When your toddler rips up $60 because he thought it would make more money. Around 3 years ago when my cousin was 6, we would play hide and seek sometimes if we were at my grandparents' house. When it was his turn to hide, I would do these typical "where are you" sentences because that's a thing you do. Instead of being quiet, my cousin would shout "I'm here" and get out of his hiding spot. I would continue to say these type of sentences because he can't do these same mistakes multiple times after explaining him multiple times how it works right. Well, eventually he wouldn't want to play with me anymore because I always found him so fast. I could have stopped saying these sentences, but I thought he would understand it eventually. How wrong I was. My son bet me that he could make a piece of paper fly farther than I could, so he spent 10 minutes making the fanciest paper airplane I've ever seen. The look on his face when I crumpled mine into a ball and launched it across the house was priceless. Sucks to be a loser, LMAO. My brother and I met our favorite superhero, the Hulk, when we were 4. We were pissed off because Lou Ferrigno wasn't green. My son was so excited to show me the art he drew on my car with a rock. I worked in a nursery and I was in the nappy changing room with a group of children. One of them said very loudly, "Alexa, play Baby Shark." I then spent the rest of the time trying to explain that Alexa wasn't at the nursery whilst having, at this point, the whole group shouting "Alexa, Alexa." I just wanted some cereals. Caught my toddler questioning the baby. He wanted my newborn baby to admit that he can talk. Told the baby, "I know you can talk." It was a full-on interrogation. LMAO, I'm not letting him watch Boss Baby no more. He tweaking. The girls told me what they want to be when they grow up. Gwen wants to be a scientist who studies space and chemicals. An astrochemist. Esley wants to be a firefighting carrot. My 3-year-old doesn't want any paper in his piggy bank, only real money. My child is throwing a fit. Reason: didn't get to see her poop before grandma flushed it down the toilet. Grandma is apologizing profusely. Leah's refusing to be assuaged. She just wants her poop back. It's been 20 minutes. Did you take your birth control? You're welcome. Yes, it's totally cool to put flower stems in an outlet. Me to the 3-year-old. Want a cheese tortilla for lunch? No, that's gross. Me. Want a quesadilla? Yes. I'd been talking to my son about transitioning to using the potty, so when we were waiting in line to see Santa, and Santa went on break, I leaned down to my son and whispered, "Santa's taking a break so he can use the potty." He loudly and incredulously said, "Santa has a peen." I was at the grocery store one day. One of the employees there is an older, very tiny man. He was pulling a heavy cart stacked with soda and obviously having trouble moving it. 3-year-old girl in a cart dressed like Rapunzel saw him and yelled, "Come on man, you got this shiz." When my kid was 12, he had a bunch of friends over to play video games, so I made sure to stock the mini fridge in the games room with a variety of beverages. One of the friends grabbed out a bottle of water and chastised me for buying something so bad for the environment. He then opened the water, poured the contents into his hydro flask and threw the empty bottle in the trash. I used to think Germany was in ruins. When I was a little kid I learned about Germany losing World War II and how bombed it was. I lived in the deserts of Arizona and thought the world was desert, so I assumed that Germany was a desert Fallout NV style wasteland with bombed husks of buildings. My mom announced to me one day that we are moving to Germany and I cried because I thought that we were moving to a bombed out desert wasteland. My sister tried to convince me otherwise and I didn't believe her. I cried the whole 12-hour flight there. Needless to say I was surprised that it was green when I looked out the window. It was the first time I saw green plants and trees outside of a movie.